Hi, welcome to the Excel module. In today's session, we will be talking about removing duplicates. So sometimes in the data, we have the duplicate values. For example, we have rows which is duplicated multiple times. There is a certain number which is repeating multiple times, and we want to remove them because we don't want to consider any kind of duplicacy in the data. So in that option, we have to use this remove duplicate option where we are quickly removing all the duplicate value, not doing any manual data cleaning in the Excel file. So this is a very used formula or maybe a practice which you use in your real Excel file as well. So let's see how that goes. Okay. So if you are talking about the remove duplicate is basically help you to delete a repeated record to keep your data set clean, accurate, and reliable. This is how you have to use it. I'm not going to read this because we can see that directly in the Excel. There's one thing which I want to mention. Either you can delete the duplicate for using one column, like for example, you have 10 columns and you want to delete the duplicate from the one column itself, or you have the option to delete the repeated value from the 10 column itself. So if you see that there is one row which is repeating multiple times, so you can consider all those 10 column, otherwise you can consider one column as well. So before we get confused with what we are seeing, let's try to understand that with a real example. Okay, so I have this particular sheet and I have just copied two rows from here, from this particular sheet, and I have pasted that multiple times. I have pasted the same values multiple times just to see how the duplicate value will work. So I will go on this, I will go in the data tab, then I will go on the remove duplicate. You have the direct option of in the data tools of remove duplicates. You just need to click on that. It will show you two options. Either you have to expand your selection or you want to continue with the current selection. What does that mean? So expense selection means you want to select other columns as well while removing the duplicate, or continue with the current selection means whatever columns you have selected or whatever values you have selected, you just want to continue with that while removing the duplicate. So let's start with the first one first. Continue with the current selection. I will just click on remove duplicate. You will see that it will make sure that the government word which is duplicated 13 times, it has only keeping one value for you, so that it is not showing you multiple times. So there was in total 14 values. It has removed all those 13 duplicated values. I'm just doing an undo so that I can show you the other option. I will again click on this remove duplicate, and this time I will go with expand selection. I will click on remove duplicates. Now you are having a lot of columns in your table, right? So you can select all those columns which you want to consider in the duplicate selection. Now what does that mean? If you are saying I want to consider all of these values, like all of these columns, it means it will go ahead and check the unique value in the column. So government Canada will be checked for each of these columns, and then it will try to find the duplicate for you. For example, I'm keeping all of this column intact and I will say okay. So it will found that there are two rows which is unique because the product is changing, the maybe the other values are also changing. So it will make sure all those columns will have some kind of differentiator to consider that as unique value. So if you see here, my values are fine, but my product is different and my manufacturing price is different. So it will not consider that as a duplicate value because you have considered all the columns while making the duplicates in that sense. In the same way, if I go here and I will say remove duplicate, again expand the selection, and this time I unselect all and I will say consider segment country, that's it, and I will say okay. So it will make sure that it is only considering Canada, government and Canada. It will remove all of these values as well because you have expanded your selection till the last column and you are only considering this particular combination. So it will make sure that government in Canada is not repeating any single time. It will not check whether your product is having a different value or your sales is having a different value. So this is one thing which you have to make sure that you are correctly verifying before going ahead with a duplicate. Generally, we always go with expand option while selecting all the columns because if I have 15 rows which seem similar to me, but if there is one column also which is having a different value, so I will consider that as a different row or maybe different input in that sense. Also, there is one more thing. In the conditional formatting also, you have something called highlighting the duplicate values. So that also you can consider. You have something called duplicate values. So it will make sure to highlight all the duplicates in the data. Just in case if you don't want to delete it, just wanted to check it while seeing in the data. So you can go in the conditional formatting and explore this option as well. So that's it about the remove duplicate part. I will see you in the next module.